Good evening, you're watching This Week, a weekly news review that brings you engaging stories on local, political and social affairs. I'm your host, Susan Oktay. For this week we have COVID-19 risk application launched. President Batula submitted a decree to the Supreme Court to dissolve the MPP. The Mongolian women's team took the lead in Asia. And for other news, stay tuned. This week, Mongolia launched the COVID-19 exposure notification system developed by Google and Apple. The system is designed to fight and monitor COVID-19 outbreaks through the use of Bluetooth technology. The Mongolian version of the system is the COVID-19 Renewable app, which is now available for iOS and Android operating systems.
About 130 million users in over 60 countries are using the exposure notifications systems developed by Google and Apple. The Mongolian version of the app is COVID-19 Renewable, which notifies users when they have come into close contact with a COVID-19 patient based on Bluetooth technology. On Saturday, April 17th, Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia, held an online meeting with a representative from Google. According to a Google product manager present for the meeting, the system has a high degree of privacy protection and doesn't store a user's private information.
This new system lets citizens know whether they have entered an area affected by COVID-19 or if they have been in close contact with infected people. We are grateful to the Mongolian Information Technology Department, the Mongolian National Center for Communicable Diseases, Onum Foundation, and all the participants who quickly made this system available in the Mongolian language.
State authorities are actively encouraging the public to activate the exposure notifications system on their mobile device by turning on their Bluetooth connection. Experts hope that these tools will help public health authorities fight COVID-19 outbreaks effectively as the daily case numbers are surging in Mongolia.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Last week, from April 15th to 17th, earthquakes occurred in northernmost Kh.Battulga province on 3 consecutive days. The earthquake scale ranged in magnitudes from 3.6 to 5.1. These were categorized as minor, light, and moderate types of earthquakes. Since January 2021, Kh.Battulga province has experienced over 55,000 earthquakes and earth tremors. Around 300 earth tremors have been recorded daily, but sources say that no critical damage has occurred so far. Most of the earthquakes happened near Hangsom of Kh.Battulga province. On January 12th, a 6.5 magnitude earthquake was recorded in the region, which is the strongest so far. Previously, this type of strong earthquake occurred in 1991, which is 30 years ago. The second edition of Motion Mongolia International Contemporary Dance Festival will take place online starting from April 27th. With the cooperation of the Mongolian Ballet Program, the Arts Council of Mongolia is organizing the event in an online format this year. The festival aims to promote artistic excellence and cultural diversity through dance. The program nurtures the artistic collaboration between local and international artists and the exchange of dance proficiency. The Motion Mongolia 2020 main program consists of a contemporary dance competition, main stage performance, international dance showcase, street dance showcase, and master classes. The festival continues for 5 days in Ulaanbaatar, starting from April 27th.
On April the 12th, the United Nations mission in South Sudan shared a story about Mongolian peacekeepers. It said, together with local authorities and the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, a group of 19 Mongolian peacekeepers treated and evacuated 27 people who were wounded during a cattle raid attack near Mayam. Local sources claimed at least 19 lives were lost during the attack. Major Tufshinjargal Renewable, one of 2 Mongolian officers commanding the UN troops, said among the 27 wounded people were at least 5 young girls aged between 6 and 16 years, with 2 of them in a critical condition. Most of the injured were women, children, and youth. The United Nations mission in South Sudan has established several temporary operating bases in particularly conflict-prone locations across the country. The presence of peacekeepers in these areas aims to protect civilians by deterring violence.
Forbes magazine announced its 6th annual 30 Under 30 Asia list, featuring 300 young entrepreneurs and leaders across Asia, all under the age of 30. The Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia class of 2021 features innovative millennial and Gen Z leaders who have preserved and thrived despite global uncertainty brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Among them were 30 honorees selected from each of the 10 categories, including the arts, finance, media, and technology. From Mongolia, Kh.Battulga, who is the chairman of the government of Mongolia's Communication and Information Technology Authority, was selected in the top 30 honorees. She is the youngest and first female to hold this position. As the youngest leader in the current cabinet, she crafted the 5-year plan to transform Mongolia into a digital nation. She also the main part of the e-Mongolia platform that digitized 181 government services for easy public use. She studied public policy at Oxford and previously worked at the World Bank, United Nations, and Asian Development Bank. There's a good news for Mongolian business and manufacturers. Mongolians will soon be able to officially market their products on Amazon, the world's largest online shopping platform. The Department of Communications and Information Technology has started cooperating with Amazon. In other words, domestic producers will be able to export their products online to a market of 1 billion people rather than to a market of just 3 million. Amazon operates in 14 countries and currently sells its products in 103 countries through their platform. The government's action plan for 2020 to 2024 includes the implementation of the Rehabilitation 2024, a set of integrated measures with the goal of rehabilitating 8,000 hectares of land damaged by mining activities nationwide. In this context, a working group led by the Deputy Minister of Nature and Environment visited Kh.Battulga from April 9th to 11th. The multi-sector joint working group inspected rehabilitated areas in Yalpuk, Yurosum, Kh.Battulga, which had been abandoned for many years due to various mining activities, including illegal mining operations. Aerial orthophoto mapping revealed that 4,321 cubic meters of stockpiled waste had been left on 200 hectares of damaged land. In the future, as part of the Rehabilitation 2024 measures, rehabilitation work will be intensified in accordance with the plan in the areas that need to be rehabilitated.
Dilgong and Kh.Battulga won the gold medal, raised the flag of Mongolia, and sang the national anthem. Kh.Battulga in the 57 kg weight category, Shovdar in the 59 kg weight category, Kh.Battulga in the 62 kg weight category, and Dilirma in the 68 kg weight category all won silver. In the 72 kg weight category, Tsivigmid won the bronze medal. Women wrestlers from Japan, China, and the Democratic Peoples Republic of Korea, the world's leading women's wrestling powers, missed the Asia Championships for some reason. For the first time in history, Mongolian female wrestlers led the team's event with 173 points. The Asian Championship started on April 17th. The men's freestyle wrestling will be held in the 57, 65, 70, 79, and 97 kg weight categories. Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. On Monday, Mongolian President Kh.Battulga submitted a decree to the Supreme Court to dissolve the Mongolian Peoples Party. He believes that the Mongolian Peoples Party has violated the constitution, unjustly changed the party system, and gave several other reasons for submitting the decree. Later in the day, the board of the Mongolian Peoples Party made a statement saying the president's actions violate the constitution.
In his decree, President Batula condemned the Mongolian People's Party for violating the constitution by turning the constitutional governance system into a party governance system. He also said that the activities of the Mongolian Peoples Party have violated the law on political parties through the unconstitutional and aggressive seizure of state power and a transition to a militarized party. The president's announcement was sudden and he has led to heated debate. Some say that the president's action were in response to the recent decision made by the Constitutional Court to not allow him to run for a second term in office. Later in the day, the board of the Mongolian People's Party stated that the president's actions have violated over 10 laws, including the Constitution, the law on presidents, and the law on political parties. They condemned the president for abusing the authority granted to him by law, impacting the independence of the courts, and for actions that are driven by self-interest. Mongolia's presidential election will take place this summer. As the time draws closer, political tensions continue to mount.
Our next story, a COVID-19 infection was detected at the Batula mining complex. After this incident, the Chinese side temporarily closed the border point and Mongolian exports slowed down. But these days, coal and copper exports have been improving, said the Ministry of Mining and Heavy Industry.
The Kh.Battulga border point between China and Mongolia was temporarily closed due to a COVID-19 outbreak that occurred at the Batula mining complex. But these days, the copper concentrate of Batula mine and coal of Kh.Battulga mine have started being exported to China again.
Currently, the exports of coal and copper concentrate are running smoothly, but not at the high quantity like before. For instance, on April the 19th, 62 trucks of coal and 48 trucks of copper were exported through the Kh.Battulga border point. That's slightly higher than at the post period in which only 18 to 30 truck products were exported.
The transportation of copper concentrate has been approved by the Chinese side only a few days ago. Since the start of 2021, a total of about 8 million tons of coal and over 400 tons of copper concentrate have been exported. The Ministry of Mining noted that they are working towards increasing the amount of export products.
You're watching us on MNB World. Thank you. Mongolia currently supplies more than 80% of its energy needs from coal. However, the renewable energy sector has been growing rapidly in recent years. One local company is starting a wind power project overseas.
According to the Asian Development Bank, Mongolia ranks 5th in the world in terms of renewable energy resources. As of today, 29 companies have received licenses in the field of renewable energy. 8 wind power projects are running successfully in Mongolia. Industry experts believe that since technology costs for running renewable energy plants are reducing in recent years, there is a high promise of further prosperity of this sector. One local company has even started a project overseas.
The Newcom Group plans to build 54 wind farms in the Republic of Myanmar. This is the first major international achievement for a Mongolian company. Also, Mongolian engineers are successfully participating in a large-scale assembly in the European Union. This shows that the capacity of human resources and expertise in this field is reaching a new higher level.
Due to recent amendments to the renewable energy law, residents will now be able to use renewable energy at more affordable prices. Currently, wind, solar, and water power plants with a total capacity of 260 megawatts energy are operating in Mongolia.
In March, scholars of the Mongolian National University of Medical Sciences completed their development for their coronavirus diagnostics tool using a saliva sample. The new diagnostic tool got its trademark on March 25th. Starting from next Monday, this diagnostic tool will be used for testing the public.
On April 14th, the National University of Medical Sciences handed over 10,000 salivary diagnostics tools to Ministry of Health as per their order. One test kit can test 96 people. Because it uses human saliva, the testing process is much easier than the current nasal swab testing. Also, the result will be revealed in just 90 minutes, which is crucial for early coronavirus detection. The 10,000 diagnostics tools were distributed to major hospitals and laboratories in Ulaanbaatar. It's notable that this scientific achievement of Mongolian scholars is now going into practical use. The medical team is planning to produce more of their tools to reach more people.
This week, the General Election Commission of Mongolia held an online meeting with political parties that have seats in parliament. During the meeting, they introduced the ongoing preparations for the upcoming presidential elections in June.
The meeting was attended by representatives from the Mongolian Peoples Party, Democratic Party group in parliament, our coalition, and the Right Person Electorate coalition. The General Election Commission provided information on the running for presidential candidates, election campaigns, election observations, and voter-oriented activities for the Mongolian presidential elections of 2021. Now there is a very short time left for submitting documents for presidential candidates. During this pandemic situation, every process is carried out online. We'll send detailed guidelines on how to prepare registration documents and how to run election campaigns. For this year's presidential elections, Mongolian citizens overseas are able to attend through Mongolian consular departments. The Election Commission also talked about the voting machines to be used. They remarked that at the end of ballot, all ballot papers will be counted by hand. The registration for presidential candidates has a deadline of May 5th. On May 8th, the General Election Commission will announce the qualified candidates.
Mongolia supplies 10,000 tons of cashmere to foreign markets every year, yet Mongolian cashmere hasn't been recognized widely around the world. Experts in the cashmere industry are working towards adding value to Mongolian cashmere.
In order to improve the quality of Mongolian cashmere and thereby increase its market price, the Sustainable Kashmir project has been running in Bayunghangor province. In the past, it was difficult to determine the origin of cashmere. In other words, from which herder family did it originate? But now this issue has been resolved, according to industry experts.
Our project determines how much cashmere is produced from each herder community. Then, in the first stage, we classify the cashmere by its color and the sex of the goat. When we sell the cashmere in foreign markets, we also introduce our environmentally friendly technology. Our project is running well at the moment and is providing great benefits. In recent years, we have been developing a system to track down the origin of animal raw materials. The Pasture Users Association is working towards ensuring whether herders are producing high-quality cashmere, how well they are using pasture management, and how responsible they are regarding the environment.
Mongolia provides about 50% of the world's raw cashmere supply. Annually, 10,000 tons of raw cashmere products are produced in Mongolia. Yet, experts note that cashmere with the tag Made in Mongolia is not prevalent on the world market. Also, the system that guarantees real goat cashmere is not well developed. This is the reason Mongolia has been losing its position at the world cashmere market. The experts of Kashmir are aiming to fill this gap. They note that effective cooperation between herders, manufacturers, and marketers is crucial to bring the Mongolian Kashmir brand onto the world.
Well, this is it for this week. We will see you next week with more stories and updates. Please follow MNB World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.